Podcasting from the Chicagoland area, this is Game On with Jackson Stuart, where we discuss men's lifestyle, focusing on sex, fitness, relationships, business, and more. We'll be interviewing the best of the best, the hotshots, and the rising stars in the worlds of modeling, fitness, cooking, and more. Influencers who are discussing keeping it sexy while at the top of their game. I'm your host, Jackson Stuart. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the game.
Oh, okay. So let me go right now. Okay. This is Melody, and you're listening to... Wait, fuck. This is Melody, and you're listening to Game On with Jackson Stuart.
Good people, sexy people, welcome back to another episode of Game On with Jackson Stuart. I'm your host, and as always, glad to have you with us. A couple things before we jump into today's show, which is Ask Jack 2022. Definitely want to point out, giving a big shout out to Stormy Maya as she continues preparation for the launch of her new metal, I think that's the right phrase, heavy metal album for her band Cinnamon Babe. So definitely check it out. Also, big ups to Ariana Gray for her tremendous success of the Jackpot Beauties. So definitely check her out, jackpotbeauties.com. Hit her up on YouTube, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And tell her Jack sent you. So today we've got your questions that you guys have sent in. If you haven't had a chance to send in any questions or send in your question, feel free to catch us on Instagram, Instagram Jackson Stuart 2, or Game On with Jack, or on Twitter, Game On with Jack. Also, I want to make sure that you take advantage of the low price initial tier, $5 on Patreon, patreon.com/Game On with Jack, or you can go for our Game On with Jack Player After Dark for $10. Where you get all of the initial first tier stuff, plus some of the seedier, or I should say, some of the more sexual guides for players out there, tips, tricks, how-tos, and also erotic literature. So definitely take advantage of that. So let's jump right into the questions that we were sent in, and let's have some fun. King1123 asks, Dear Jack, can even the greatest player change someone that they're dating? King, this is a great question, and it is probably one of the biggest misnomers and mistakes that people make when they are dating, is the idea that you can change somebody. Now, you can teach somebody, right? You can, and I don't mean teach like the other person needs your guidance or something, but people can learn from each other, and that can be in any relationship, friends, lovers, family, whatever it is. And hopefully in a right environment, we are making one another better, by interactions, by seeing new ways to get things done or to achieve something. But in terms of dating, changing somebody it can't be done. And it's a mistake because people stay in really messed up relationships with the idea of, well, one day she'll be this, or one day he'll be that, and people rarely ever change like that. Now, given, traumatic experiences change people, life experiences change people, but as far as, I don't I want to change her mind about this, I want to change his mind about that. The core stuff you're not going to change. Leave that for therapists or counselors. But yeah. So if it's something that is bothering you and you're dating and you think you can change it over time, you might either have to accept it or walk away from that relationship. Next question comes from James D. James writes, do I have a chance of dating women if I'm short? James, great question. Guys, a we have a very unusual list of physical characteristics that we think are deal breakers. And I say unusual because it's really just us as men that we think I'm too tall, I'm too short, I'm too heavy, I'm too thin. And, of course, physicality plays a part and people have to be attracted to people. But it's been my experience, James D., that the number one most attractive quality that women look for or are attracted to is a man's confidence. And I've seen, short guys date really tall women. I've seen tall guys date really short women. I've seen so many couples where the physicality that you would initially think, oh, that's a deal breaker, didn't make a difference because of the personalities, that you'd be surprised. So I say personality always trumps physicality. So be confident in who you are, be confident in your height, be confident in your look, be healthy in all aspects of the game that you can be: physical, mental, emotional, etc. And you'd be surprised how, I was going to say how little, sorry about that. You'd be surprised how little your height makes an impact or makes a difference. So you're short, whatever, man. Be you, be a king, and go out there and date the women you want, attract the women you want to date. Good luck to you, man. Anonymous, Jack, I want to start a podcast. Should I? Hell yeah, you should start a podcast. If it's in you enough that you are asking the question, then you probably want to do it. But don't look for external validation. If you keep having that feeling that you want to do a podcast, shit, go out there and do a podcast, man. Or man or woman, whoever this anonymous person is. Definitely find a topic that you feel passionate about. Find a topic that you feel you can talk about or that you can get others on your show to talk about with, and go for it. Don't be afraid to explore it. Podbean is a great platform. That's what I use, but there's tons of other plug Podbean. There's tons of other platforms that are user friendly and have a very nurturing and cultivating environment that can help you along. But go for it and let me know what your podcast is and reach out. Maybe we'll have you on. Maybe I'll be a guest. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. Kitchen Cursed. That's a great username. What is one dish every man should know how to cook? Damn, that's a good question. Let me flip it just a little bit. I think every man should know how to cook several forms of meat well. So, you should know how to cook, beef, whether it be, a steak or whether it be ground beef. You should know how to cook chicken. You should know how to cook pork and cook fish. Those four things. If you know how to cook them, then the dish kind of is whatever. Knowing how to season food is a tremendous advantage. Knowing how to cook food, and don't be afraid to look stuff up. So, but back to your question, and I mean look stuff up like look up a recipe. Back to your question, every man should know how to cook, and in two different answers to that. He should know how to cook something for himself, and that can be something as simple as a sloppy Joe. I love sloppy Joes, I really do. A manwich, which is really just browning meat and putting the sauce in there. Or know how to make hamburgers from scratch. I think that's very important. So you should know how to cook something for just you, and you should know how to cook something for somebody you're interested in, or for your family, or for a group of people. So cook for himself. He should know how to make hamburgers, good hamburgers, not just some weird shit you threw together, but good hamburgers with ground beef, ground turkey, an egg, breadcrumbs, seasoning. I love steak seasoning. I'll put steak seasoning on everything, but the basics, man. Salt, black pepper, steak seasoning, garlic powder. You could chop up some onions just a little bit to throw it in there and, get it all together in a bowl. And I'm actually wringing my hands together, but, mix it all up and put some butter in the pan and then, cook the meat until it's ready. I'm sorry, make the patties and throw those in there and cook them. And you'd be surprised how damn good and simple that all is, right? That seems complicated, but it's really not. If you're going to cook for somebody you're interested in, it's all based on what they want to eat, what they like. But, if most people who, especially if they can eat it, allergies and gluten stuff aside, most people will just drop dead for pasta. So I think, if you can make pasta, and I'm not talking about making it from scratch, but if you can, get pasta, you know, boil water with butter in there, maybe a tablespoon of butter, enough water to cover the pasta. Once the pasta loosens up and sinks into the water, I really like to throw in chicken bouillon cube into my pasta. I'm sorry, into the water as it's boiling. Then throw the pasta in there for like 11, 12 minutes. Let it soften up. Then you take it out and you can season the hell out of it with whatever you want. And, also in terms of, you guys didn't know I knew this much about cooking. Always to know what to pair a dish with in terms of, your sides, so to speak. So if you're going to have a burger, you're going to go with either French fries or try baked beans. Baked beans can be a little bit of a healthier option than French fries. And, frying stuff that's an art that I struggle with to this day. But even the air fryer people who swear by it, I swear my air fryer and I don't get along. But yeah, baked beans are super easy. If you're talking pasta, well, you're going to go with like broccoli or asparagus. Definitely you're going to go green, excuse me. Beef steak, same thing. You're going to go green. If it's chicken, well, you can go green or you can go with rice. So definitely like learn the pairings. But the thing about cooking is it's always an experimentation. It's always an art form. Get out of your comfort zone. Have a backup plan for your comfort zone so that way if you fuck something up real bad, you've got something to eat. Having DoorDash on QuickDial or, on, the DoorDash app on your frequently used apps is not a bad idea if you're going to experiment with something. But, kitchen curse, good luck to you. And I don't think you'll be kitchen curse for very long. Let's see. Game on. This is another anonymous one. Game on. A stripper cheated me out of a dance last week, and I had already paid. Should I have said something? Ooh, sorry about that. I think just about everybody who has been to a club repeatedly has some similar story where they paid for a dance and it got cut short, or a set of dances bled into another set of dances that they didn't agree for, and now they have to pay extra. Or there was a dancer that they wanted to get a dance with, and she said, "Wait a second." And all of a sudden, she never came back. I mean, it happens. It's a business with structure, but it's got a very fluid environment structure. Here's the answer to that. If it's a club you think you're going to go back to again, sometimes you're going to have to let shit slide. Because even if you were in the right, it can still kind of poison, so to speak, that environment for you, that establishment. So, and you waste time. You're going to go out and tell the manager. Maybe the manager does something, maybe they don't. Now, if the manager does something, now the dancer has to deal with it. And then, whispers are going to go on about you as a customer, and the story is going to twist and turn, and you're going to come out as just an asshole. And now you've kneecapped your ability to have a good time there again. So just avoid that dancer. And, if you go back and the dancer comes over and if they remember and they're like, "I'm so sorry about last time," whatever, but it's a good chance they won't. just ignore them, or, don't be a dick, but just, hey, if they come over and they're like, hey, I want to dance or something, just make, in a little bit, I just got here, and just move on. Eddie B writes, Jackson, are you ever afraid to talk to a woman? Eddie B, good question. I think anything worth doing is going to have, or is going to create a fear reaction in the person who has to do it. So yes, I have been, I wouldn't say afraid. I'll say afraid, nervous, jittery inside, however you want to say it, to talk to a woman. Sure. Because this encounter I'm going to attempt on is important to me. And if it's important, it's drawing all my attention, all my focus. If it's doing all that, then it's going to initiate a biological response. It's going to put me in a fight or flight kind of mode because it's important. I think, even if you're going to go do, public speaking, or if you're going to talk in front of people, a small forum, or if you're going to go, test drive a new car or whatever, if it's important, your body is going to react because that's where your mind is focusing. Now, here's the thing, Eddie B, take that fear, take that anxiety, and let it empower you, let it energize you, let it put all of your focus and your intentions and your vibrations and everything on just a higher level, and let it work for you. Because most people, fear it handicaps them, and they suddenly stumble or stammer, and they're more focused on the fear, and the fear is now driving them rather than they're using the fear to energize the moment. Mike _ no ink. I don't like tattoos, but I have a date with a woman who has them. Do I mention it to her? Mike, no. Get through the date first. And here's why I say that, because what you don't like about tattoos, and this goes back to James D, who was talking about his height. Personality can trump physicality. So maybe you don't like tattoos, but you may meet this woman and she's phenomenal. She's firing on all cylinders, and you guys are connecting, and you might think, I don't give a damn about her tattoos. So don't mention it. And if you don't like her tattoos, don't go out with her again. Just that easy. Chrissy 8444, I think I might have missed a 4 or added one, writes, who would be the game on ultimate guest? Chris, that's a damn good question. I don't have an ultimate guest, just because of the nature of how I view every guest, and the connection that I feel with the guest as we're talking. I feel like every guest is the ultimate guest. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have who's that one guest that would just be the showstopper for me. I've got Angela White, who is an adult film star. I think would be a guest I would love to have. I mean, but every guest I approach, I would love to have them. So I just know that she's got a wow career, and I've seen her in interviews, and she interviews amazingly well, and is very personable and stuff. And God, and she's freaking hot too. Bob Proctor, I love, all of his, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I'll post his stuff. I love his, his law of attraction and his Think and Grow Rich, material and information and speeches. Les Brown, he's a motivational speaker. I love his stuff. E.T. the hip hop preacher, I love him. So yeah, these are people who I think would be amazing guests. I'd love to have them anytime. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as ultimate guest, every guest I have at that moment is the ultimate guest, because I've been very blessed as a podcaster and an interviewer that have had just nothing but amazing people on the show. So Anonymous writes, have you ever had a guest let you down? Yes. We won't focus on it too much. Somebody said they were going to be a guest. They never came through. Somebody said they're going to be a guest, and it just unravels and they make no attempt to get back on the show. So, I mean, it happens, but I don't focus on that. I much rather put my energy towards enjoying the guests who have surpassed all my expectations and totally made this a great experience. Phil writes, what was the most surprising thing in an interview you've had so far? Oh, wow. That's a good one. Most surprising thing, most surprising thing. I can't say I've had anything that was super surprising where I was like, wow, like what was that? I've had some answers that I was not expecting. So I've had that and, yeah, no, I mean, I think if anything surprises me, it's just when during the interview, if something funny gets said and, I laugh my ass off and the guest is laughing. And it's one of those moments like we didn't expect to have this, this moment. Like, yeah, I'm trying to think of any beyond that, but no real surprises, but hey, it's 2022. It's a new year, so you never know. Simp _ no more. Jackson, I'm a simp. What do I do? Oh, simp. Well, here's the question. Do you want to be a simp or not? And I think stopping simphood or simpitude, however you want to phrase it, the state of being a simp has to start with, not wanting to be a simp anymore. And then you have to look back and see, what are you doing that makes you a simp? Like, are you giving of yourself so much to a person for, some fantasy of reciprocity or romantic inclusion, and you're getting nothing back? Like, do you have no boundaries? Like, you have to ask yourself what's going on that makes you feel that you're a simp, and then you have to stop doing it and start small. So if you identify 4 things that you're doing as a simp, stop doing one of them for a week and stick to your guns. And then the next week, stop doing 2 things, and then so on and so forth. So, good luck with that. And usually stopping being a simp, stopping your simpitude or simphood or however you want to phrase it. You might need to give that person that you keep simping for some space. Maybe, don't come a running. Don't see them every time they say, hey, I need you or whatever. Just kind of put some space up, put some boundaries up, even if they're just internal boundaries and it's some internal spacing that you're putting out there. But definitely that should help. User 665533, Jack, what is the best advice you have to be a player in 2022? Damn, user 665533. That's a good question. Best advice I could give for being a player this year. I feel like it's a multi-level answer. Start with you. And I think why I say it's multi-level. Start with you. Define what you want. See where you're starting and realize that where you're starting does not dictate where you end. Network. Surround yourself with good, positive, high vibing people. Shake off toxicity, both internally and, in the relationships around you. Be still, be in the moment, be at peace, but start with you and all those things that fall under there that I just listed. But that's the best advice I could give you. And I think that's damn good advice. Else I wouldn't have said it. Boss Hog. I love that name. Boss Hog asks, can a man get out of the friend zone? Ooh, Boss Hog. Shit, that's a question right there. Yes, it's not easy and not easily. But to get out of the friend zone, there's a couple ways. The way that I have used in the past, and I've been in the friend zone, is, I've been just direct with somebody that I was interested in. I can't talk tonight. With somebody I was interested in, and I just said, hey, I'd like to take you out, for dinner, and not as a friend. And I just threw it out there. And I've done that before, multiple times. It's not worked, but it's worked more times than it has not. Because it's just it's just up front. And you'd be surprised how most people are not prepared for direct positive confrontation. And maybe confrontation isn't maybe that's a bit of an oxymoron with the word positive, but like, we're so used to, dilly-dallying and hemming and hawing and kind of dancing around the topic that if somebody just comes up and says, I'm attracted to you, I'd like to take you out, or I'd like to meet you for coffee. Like, most people don't know how to handle that because it's just we just don't deal with each other that way. So it's really refreshing when you use that, and you'd be surprised, like, that sets you out of the pack. And that will pop you out of the friend zone pretty well. Now, it might be weird, and maybe the person's like, oh, I only see you as a friend, and you might lose that friendship. But most of the time, people will see you in a different light, and it might be a light you want, because you are now saying what you want with declaration and with confidence. And most people just tend to just kind of like have a milk toast, kind of like weakened approach. And that's typically what gets you in the friend zones, because you're just, you're just always there, and you're good to this person, you're kind of hanging out, but you never make any statements, you never make any boundaries, you never make any clear cut designs on what you want, especially if it's them. So go for that, and good luck. And finally, we have from Ryan BDE, which I'm assuming is probably big dick energy, but hey, Ryan, I like that. That's some confidence. Game on. To get the woman I want, should I be focusing on finding her or leveling up? The answer is leveling up, Ryan BDE, 100%. And that goes back up to, what question was that? It goes back up to, user 665533. Yeah, focus on you. Don't focus on finding this her, whoever she is or wherever she's at. Focus on you. Level up. Be, as odd as this might sound, be the person you want to date. You want to date somebody who's confident, who's strong, who is smart, who's funny, who is adaptive. Be that person, and confident, and be that person. So level up. Go to patreon.com/gameonwithjack. Get those level guides, and just level up. And you'd be surprised how you being a better player changes the environment, changes the game, and you will bring this person into your circle. And you'll be like, oh shit, Jack was right. So there you go, folks. Ask Jack 2022, the first one of this year. We will do more throughout the year. I enjoy that. Always send me your questions. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Twitter. Definitely go to patreon.com/gameonwithjack. Subscribe, become a player, and definitely become a player after dark. We will talk soon. What if you could be a better player for the cost of one more cup of coffee a month? Get access to a growing library of lit erotica behind the scenes action, and player's guides with tips on drinking, cooking, fitness, dating, sex, and life after dark. Low tier rate while offer lasts. Patreon.com, Game On with Jack. Keep it sexy and game on.